time.
How ready do you think Carney is to take on Pierre Poilievre?
Oh, he is ready. Poilievre is hiding for the last month. You have seen it because he's not coming out. Anytime he comes out, is basically he acts as a mini Trump. So Carney is ready for Canada and Canadians, and he's ready to take, Poilievre any day, any time.
But Poilievre is continuously chipping away at Carney's credibility. So how do you think he should deal with that? He even held a press conference today attacking him.
No, even not today. Let me say this way. When he came, before Carney became the leader, instead of standing up for Canada and Canadians and attacking Trump, he was attacking Carney, which is not fair. A lot of my constituents have come to me, and they have taken it very negative. They're thinking that he's mini Trump, and that's what he's acting. And Carney is coming straight shooter, who's here to save Canada and save Canadian and save our identity and sovereignty.
Carney's speech to caucus, what did you think of it?
Oh, I thought it was fantastic. Yeah, he's always fantastic. I've known him for quite a number of years. What else would you like to know?
Well, do you think he has what it takes to take on Pierre Poilievre?
Absolutely. That's why I supported his leadership bid, 100%. I think he's the man for the moment for this country, and I think he's demonstrating that through his speeches. But I think his credentials really speak for themselves, and I think Canadians are responding to that. We've had more interest in the Liberal movement as a result of him joining the party and really putting his name forward to stand up for the country at a time where we need someone with his background and expertise.
What did you think of his choice of Marco Mendicino as Chief of Staff?
Well, I fully support it. I've known Marco for years, and I think it will provide a seamless transition, which is, I think, what we need right now.
Are already attacking Mendicino, his credibility, his record in the House of Commons. Isn't that a distraction?
Well, they do that all the time with everything. So that's just their mode of operations at every moment, is to attack everybody all the time. So I don't think Canadians want an attack dog type government right now. I think the opposition at this moment, sure, they got to be oppositional, but they are dividing and I think distracting from what Canadians really want. They want a government who's steady, has a hand on the rudder, is confident in themselves, that can stand up to Donald Trump and his tariff threats and get the country through what's going to be a challenging 4 years.
Would you like to see Mr. Carney get rid of the consumer carbon tax before the federal election is called?
Yes, I think so. It's just become a huge distraction, and unfortunately, sucks up all the oxygen in the room and the conversation. There's other ways that we can reduce emissions and fight climate change that aren't so divisive and toxic.
And how can you do that without Parliament coming back?
I'll leave that up to the Minister of Finance and the Minister of the Environment. I think it's very possible. It shouldn't, won't go up on April 1st in short order. The consumer carbon tax will be removed from other fuels as well. My concern, as somebody that is concerned about vulnerable people, is that students and seniors and young people and families depend on the rebate. So we want to make sure that we are there for families.
Of Marco Mendicino as Chief of Staff.
Well, it's a bit of a surprise, but Marco knows caucus, Marco knows cabinet, and for the time being, good.
Are you worried about Conservatives attacking Carney for this? Because they're already on social media attacking him hard for this choice.
Look, Poilievre has immense talent to destroy people's reputations, and he's on full bore right now. He could destroy the reputation of the Lord himself. So.
How are you feeling going into maybe one of your last cabinet meetings with Prime Minister Trudeau?
Well, listen, it's kind of an era which is coming to an end and a new chapter for Canada. And at a momentous time for the country, I think this is in our generation probably the moment in time where Canadians are united, where we're feeling, our closest friend and partner is turning their back, is turning its back on us. So there's this ahead of us, but looking back, we've done a lot of things for Canadians, and I think he showed us empathy, kindness, and leadership to some of the biggest crises that, in 10 years, sometimes you go in 10 years in politics, nothing happened, and then in 10 years it seems that a lot has happened. So we have to give him credit to steer the country during that time.
We'll see. The consumer carbon tax before the election?
Well, I think he was pretty clear that he's going to get rid of the consumer carbon price. But I think you're going to have to ask him about exactly when and the instrument that he's going to use, but it's pretty clear that he's going to get rid of it. So, thanks.
Guilbeault, do you expect Carney to get rid of the consumer carbon tax before he calls an election?
Well, he said yesterday that he wanted to get rid of it. We're looking into how that could be done and how rapidly it can be done.
Do you expect this to happen, though, before the election is called?
As I said, we're looking into it. I don't have like a time
Is this your hope?
to give you. We're looking into different options. Do we need to change legislation? Can we go the regulatory route? Like, what are the options? And I don't have an answer for you yet.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, I mean, he said that he wanted, for example, to work on the industrial carbon pricing system that gives us 3 times more emission reduction. So make sure that big polluters do their fair share when it comes to reducing emissions. And you should remember that our climate change plan doesn't rest on 1 or 2 measures. It's more than 100 measures that we've deployed over the years that, for the first time in our history, is resulting in emissions going down while the economy is going up. It's never happened before. So the plan is working, and we will find a solution to that particular issue. Thank you.
What did you think of Kearney's message to caucus?
Kearney's message to caucus was uplifting.
Why is
We
that?
got to fight and win the next election together. And in order to do that, we have to be unified. And everybody in the room was right there with him. So we'll be strong going forward. And it's going to be quite the force in the election.
How soon do you expect this election call to come?
Well, you know that that's a decision that isn't made by me or any minister. And I would expect that the key point is that we have to keep fighting the Trump tariffs and be ready for an election when it does come. And those 2 items may converge, but regardless, we have to stand strong for Canada, and we have to fight for progressive values. And that's what we will do as a team, as a united team. And if last night showed us anything, it is that the Liberal team is united. Thank you so much.
Are you ready for an election personally?
Yes, I am.
Have you, like, rented your campaign office, all that kind of stuff?
We have all the balls in motion, and would love to see you out in Oakville.
Just had a long meeting with the Prime Minister. We discussed the most important issues for our country, obviously including Canada and U.S. relations, issues of national security, and yes, the transition between the Prime Minister and myself. That transition will be seamless and it will be quick. Finally, I, as you may have heard, just had a meeting with the caucus. There is tremendous energy in the Liberal caucus. As you saw last evening, this is a united party with full of energy to serve Canadians.
I just wondered about Donald Trump.
Okay, sorry.
What would you say?
First thing, I'm sure he's not going to sign an order directed at me, David, with respect to President Trump. I'm not yet Prime Minister. His interlocutor is Prime Minister Trudeau, and I look forward to the opportunity.
When are you going to be sworn in?
We will. As I said, I just spoke with the Prime Minister at length on issues around the transition. It'll be quick. We'll be coming back to you soon. The good news is that you will be seeing probably more of me than you want, and you will have other opportunities, and we'll be making an announcement on that.
What did you tell caucus today?
What did I tell caucus today? So this is important. The first thing, I went to caucus today because you start as you mean to go on. And we are a Liberal team, and so it's incredibly important for me to hear directly from the members of caucus the concerns of Canadians on the ground, their priorities. As I said last night, they're the voices of their communities and they're the conscience of the party. There's tremendous energy in that group. We know this is a crucial time for our country. We're united to serve Canadians, and we will build this country.
And we're really